Hey Half-Bloods, thanks for being here. William and I have loved filming this podcast. Our first 4 episodes were very raw, we didn't have a firm game plan, and we just had a lot of fun talking about Harry Potter. This podcast was recorded several weeks ago. At the time of recording, we did not have a firm plan on the launch of Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia. At times during the podcast, I may say the games are available and ready to buy. That is a lie. The games will be ready on September 30th. Consider this episode a trial run. So I promise if you stick around, it'll only get better from here. Welcome, Half-Bloods, to a special edition of the Half-Blood Pod, where your hosts, Scott and William, are joined by my wife, Cassie.
Hello, Cassie.
Hopefully not for the last time.
And hopefully not for very long.
Rude. I will.
It's a sacred time.
Well,
I know, it's actually my bedtime, so I would like to not be on very long so I can go to bed.
We're on a very small bench, and it's not ideal.
Do you want to explain why I'm here?
Cassie is here because we got married 12 years ago because I thought she was super hot. And
Like on the podcast.
yes.
She had no say in it. You just said you're hot. It's done.
That's correct. That is correct. Cassie's here because today we have a special edition of the Half-Blood Pod where William and I are going to have, William, what do we want to call this? We can't just call it Mount Rushmore. Do we want to just call it a draft? I mean, we could call it Mount Rushmore and just, no, there's not going to be a big overlap.
Mount Rushmore or not. It doesn't really matter.
But what's like a Harry Potter themed name you can call it?
We could call this.
Will is so good at
we're gonna
thinking
pick.
of those.
We're gonna pick our 4 Triwizard champions of why we dislike the movies.
Reasons the movies are not good.
Are subpar.
Or just yeah. And I know like my idea with it was like I take these things pretty seriously, but also it really makes me laugh how terrible some of their choices are. So I think this is gonna be a blast.
Scott takes it so seriously. For those that don't know, Scott had an entire Instagram account dedicated to why the books are better and why the movies suck. And he posted on that thing for like over a year.
I've got about 250 posts, which is where the only place I went to prepare for this draft was just scrolling through my favorites. And certainly I will redo all of the best posts for my new social media accounts.
The other night he was like literally laying on the bed reading his own Instagram posts and like dying laughing. He's like, I am so funny.
I am hilarious. Every single time
I agree.
I
read through them and that was like, if you like Google things, I don't know. First of all, Google needs to get the program. None of the AIs have searched your movies that must not be named Instagram posts, right? But like, this is solid stuff. You've done literally the best like collection of movie problems of anywhere on the internet.
I appreciate you saying that. I would love, yeah, you're right. How do I get this to get scraped so that this can go farther and wider? And
put it on X, then Grok will eat it up.
That's a good point. And this will be on X.
Well, I think he's going to repurpose a lot of those posts for his new social media.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X, the everything app.
Okay, back to me leaving the podcast so I can go to bed.
Yes, you're here for a reason, believe it or not.
Yes, not just a chit chat.
This podcast and this draft is brought to you by the much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. And William, I'm treating this as a competition. And when we're done with this,
as he treats everything in life, everything is a competition.
I'm not familiar.
When we
Oh, wait. Scott and I go way back. We know.
Yeah, you've known Scott longer than I have.
I don't think about it. It's definitely like, I don't know, 5 times a year. I think about how you beat me in horse. And it could be more. I need to just take a little note every time I think about it and then get an annual count of how often I think about you beating me in horse by bouncing the ball off your head and into the hoop.
It's not my fault. You never played soccer.
It's not my fault. You have a giant head.
Okay, back to...
True, I
do. Yeah. So again, I'm treating this as a competition, and like I think it matters who goes first. And so to decide who goes first, we will see who's the ultimate Harry Potter trivia champion. Cassie, go ahead, Cassie.
I am going to pick a random level 7 and whoever wins the question gets to start the draft. And this may sound like Scott would have an advantage because he created the game, but level 7 is so hard that even he cannot answer all of them.
Yeah.
Not even
For
close.
those who don't know, the point of level 7 is to just how many can you get? So like name every password ever used. Like no, but how many can you name?
And to be fair, I think William, you could get 99% of them with like, a couple hours or, just
Yeah,
letting
much
you
like
think
Batman.
about it
With
throughout your
enough
day.
preparation time, I am unstoppable. So
Right. But I think the key here, Catherine, if you can keep us constant, is like we should have a 10-second timer.
Okay.
It's just 10 seconds. If you can't think of one, then you're out and it's over.
Okay.
And the game is just one each. William name one, I name
oh,
one.
like
Until
William name
someone
one,
can't
I
do
name
it.
one.
Yeah.
Until
Back
it's
and
over.
forth.
Okay.
I want you to read the question, and then I want 10 seconds of thinking, and then we start, or like something like that.
And I'm picking totally random. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm opening the box. Okay, you can't be able to look at the answer over my shoulder. All right, I'm ready. You're already cheating. Name
He's
13.
cheating. Yes, he's cheating. Of course, he's not. It's Scott.
Just the
I'm just
questions
I
on
have
my
the
phone.
question slightly ahead of you.
Name 13 Death Eaters, including those who wear the robes and don't have the mark, who are not sentenced to Azkaban or dead after the first fall of Voldemort.
Any questions, William?
So it's 13 Death Eaters. That's the total number. So they're
13
Death
is the
Eaters
total.
that were never in Azkaban. After
that were
well-
that were not in Azkaban between the period of the
first
first book
Wizard War.
starting and Harry's. But they're
example, like the easiest one, Malfoy,
Do you want to go first?
right? Like
I
that would
guess
be.
how do we decide who goes first in this?
Will gets it because you saw the question before he did.
But like that's an
Yes.
example. Like you can call that.
Lucius
I would go
Malfoy.
first. I'd say Malfoy. Malfoy was
Okay. Scott?
okay.
Lucius
And then
Malfoy.
No, that's
What-
Will's.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying. But yes, that is a correct answer. So
gonna put the
now
mic here.
William has gone one, and now it is my turn. We good?
yeah. So does anyone? The biggest thing is not in Azkaban after the first downfall of Voldemort,
Yes, but they certainly could have gone after the fifth book, and that's not what we're talking
aka
about.
Malfoy.
AKA Lucius Malfoy. So there's also a big hint on the name of the card where it says even those who don't have the mark but wear the robes. And so I'm going with Fenrir Greyback.
Will?
Snape.
Crab.
Goyle.
McNair.
Avery.
Not.
Yaxley.
Is that a correct answer?
That is a correct answer.
Kakarov.
Karkaroff. Idiot.
Igor. Igor.
Igor Karkaroff. Let's see. I'm gonna.
When is this timer up, Catherine?
He looks like he's close to something. This is honestly slightly disappointing.
That it's taking me so long.
No,
I don't even
these
know how
are-
much.
Yeah, how many are left?
I don't know.
Yeah, classic.
Okay. Wait.
Avery, not
1, 2,
McNair,
3, 4,
Yaxley.
5, 6, 7, 8. You've done 8. 9. You've done 9.
4 left.
There's. So we have. What have we said so far?
You have said Avery, Snape, Karkaroff, Malfoy, Goyle, Crab, not McNair. Someone said McNair, right?
Yes.
Did someone
I
say
get
Oh,
Caro.
Yaxley?
What a Caro?
Yep. Which
Electo
one?
Caro.
Yep.
Amicus.
Oh, Pettigrew.
Yep.
Well played.
I think it
that's
would be
all of them.
over now.
That's 13.
Yeah. Does Will get it because he answered
Based
more?
on the rules of the game, William is the winner, but
Yes.
we did not have a firm
No, we
grounding of who
we
gets
were-
to go first.
Will gets to go first because you saw the question over my shoulder by looking at my phone.
Hey, congrats to us for completing a level 7.
Yeah. Okay. I'm out. It's been a pleasure, Half Bloods.
So we're gonna start with our Mount Rushmore of, I guess, how do we title this specifically? Like Mount Rushmore of reasons of ways the movie failed, or
I think, yeah, it can be the movie
just
failed. I think this could also be personal, right? Where it's just like 4 things that are Mount Rushmore
are just
of
big mistakes, like errors,
yes,
howlers,
and Mount
as they would say in England when a goalie lets a ball go through his leg.
Mount Rushmore of howlers. There would be maybe I wouldn't understand that reference, but some will. Yeah, Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore of biggest mistakes the movie's made.
I didn't think of it like the fact that like Ron is underdeveloped. Like that's not a thing I can put on this list, right?
Right. I think that's fair. This needs to be
it needs to be something you can point at and be like, this specific event happened and it was hilariously terrible, like the way they did it.
And from my perspective, there's basically 4 points that I want to hit. And I could do we could see where this goes. I have 4 that might fit more the vein of like, this was terrible, but it's also funny. But these are the 4 main points. There's 4 main points that I want to hit. Again, I have to, if you take one of them, then I have backups, but this is where the fun is
we
to
both
me.
made a list of, I don't know, probably a dozen or so, right? Just to throw out there. All right.
I got up to 21 and I started to realize we should have just done this by movie, but it's fine.
Ooh.
We can do this 8 times, 8 different pots.
Next time there's another like global pandemic and we're just stalling for time.
I like that.
We'll do that.
All right, you're up. I'm very excited
All
to
right,
hear.
I'm up.
I have a yeah. I was
do you-
gonna say
what do
I
you-
have
go
some
ahead.
predictions. I just have some predictions, and I'll let you know if they come true of what I assume you're going to choose based on a decade plus of conversations.
Okay, so the first one I'll go with. It probably isn't like the thing I hate the most, although because there's stuff where I can get like more detailed about like why I don't like something or whatever. But
Yeah.
the thing that above all I thought was just like an absurd thing was Dumbledore. It has to be this one. It's just Dumbledore freaking out in the 4th movie. The 4th movie is a complete atrocity, start to finish. It's so terrible. There's so many things you could point at and be like, they're just not serious. They just don't care about this at all. But Dumbledore, did you put your name in the goblet? Did you put your name in the goblet? Like, what is this? Dumbledore, the ultimate calm, cool, collected, omnipotent, omniscient man who is always in control and is like a goof, weird, calm, cool, collected, screams at Harry and like screaming at him like, did you put your name in the goblet? What?
Don't forget that
It's
he's
the worst.
that he's running at him. He's
Yeah.
leading an angry mob towards his star pupil.
Right. And then like, need I tell you, like if I pull it up, like what he says in the books,
Did you put your name in the
he
goblet?
calmly, it's described as calmly,
He
is
asked
like,
calmly.
did you put your name in the goblet of fire? No. Like,
Did you ask another student to do it for you? Are you quite sure?
anyway, that movie is probably, in my opinion, the worst of all the movies. But, low bar, or a high bar, I guess. I don't know how to describe that properly.
That's a good point.
But
some double negatives in there.
It's just a complete atrocity of a scene, and it's like complete character assassination of the second most important character in the entire story. Like, I don't know how you can like watch these movies and think like, yeah, these people really care about what they're doing. They don't. They clearly don't.
I think that this would go 1-1 in a lot of drafts or Mount Rushmores of movie sins. This is certainly, I think, the most popular and famous on the internet. I had it on here as a backup. If you didn't do it, I figured I would have just had to do it, but I assumed that you would do it. That's a great 1-1. And the demise of Dumbledore, as I like to call it, the on-screen lies of Albus Dumbledore is certainly one of the categories I will hit as I go through my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, and this is something that's just like, I mean, Dumbledore is the second most important character, right? I guess, like, overall. and he's so fleshed out and so specific. If you ask like anyone who's read the books, like what are the defining characteristics of Dumbledore, you'd be like genius, odd, calm,
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
yeah, right. And like nobody like going unhinged and yelling at Harry and charging at him is just. I don't know how you can. I just don't understand people who want to defend these movies and they're like, oh, they're not just like changing something for convenience. They're like, no, let's completely change the defining characteristics of this person and wipe our butts with it.
I have more on this. Everything you just said is exactly how I feel. I will have a Dumbledore scene as one of my picks, but it won't be my number one pick. I want it could be to just double down on this, but I have a firm 1-1 and I have to stick with it.
All right, so that was my 1-1. Dumbledore, did you put your name in the goblet? And on my notes, I typed it in all caps. Did you put your name in the goblet?
It's the only way to read it.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like that actor, rest in peace. Right, he's passed now. Michael Gambon or whatever. Not a bad actor. It's not his fault. He looks like Dumbledore. He's fine.
He was told to do that by intelligent.
Or maybe he did it, and like they're like, "Ooh, we like your interpretation." But like in that case, like the people who make this thing need to be more responsible. Like that's insane. Anyway, 1-1. It's not even my most offensive thing, but maybe I don't know. But let's hear yours.
It's the most famous, that's for sure. I'm gonna give two pieces of background here. One is as an adolescent, I mean, you've talked about how I feel like you've hated these longer than I have, and I feel like growing up, I didn't.
Day
have
one,
the same
minute
hate.
one, I was out.
You're so much better than me, and I'm honestly a little bit sad about that. That as a 11-year-old, I guess I was just along for the ride. And I didn't have my critical thinking cap on to see.
I don't know if I had a critical thinking cap. I was just very naive, and like I had never cared about something where like I mean I was 11. I was at the movie theater. I've never cared about something like this before, and we went to the movie, and I just immediately it started, and I was like, no, something's.
So, 5 movies had come out, I believe, before we went on our missions. Maybe 6. I don't know, but I know I watched.
6th one came out while we were on our mission.
I remember watching.
We watched it for Christmas
on my mission. Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember hating it, but also I hadn't read the books in a year and a half. And anyways,
well, and on your mission, you don't watch TV or do anything fun like that. So.
Correct. It's true. watching 2.5 hours of TV was exhilarating, regardless. Then Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out, which I thought was confusing, and then. I remember the build-up. I remember being home. I remember buying, at this Thursday midnight tickets, and being quite excited with the mind frame of there's only action. There's only the best chapters in the books left.
Entirely the Battle of Hogwarts.
This has to be the greatest movie ever made. And I made mistake number 1 where I read all that section of the book leading up to that. And at this time in my life, I can't remember if I had already reread Harry Potter again. I think I had probably 1 through 7, and that was me finishing my reread after coming home from not reading or watching TV for 2 years on the mission. And I was very excited, and there were several key points that I was very excited for. And I'm going to share one of those with you today and how it fell short in every conceivable way. And I just want to state that again, I've had the Instagram movies that must not be named, started it during COVID. And every time I would get asked to be like, hey, tell me more about this Instagram account. How could you hate the movies this much? This would be my example. This is what I would show them. And then I would ask for a rebuttal and say, please tell me where I'm wrong here. And I just need to say that on the dozens and tens of times, I wish I could say hundreds, but 100 people haven't asked me about this. But on the tens of times I've done this, there has been nothing but yes, you're absolutely right. So this takes some time, and I don't care. This is my podcast, and I can do what I want. So I'm going to read this section in the book, and then for those on YouTube, Cassie will put the clip in, and this is how we'll do it on social media. But I'll describe the scene for podcast listeners only. This is what happens The moment after Voldemort is vanquished. Here are the words that we read. Again, I know this takes a lot of time and I don't care. One shivering second of silence, the shock of the moment suspended, and then the tumult broke around Harry as the screams and the cheers and the roars of the watchers rent the air. The fierce new sun dazzled the windows as they thundered towards him. The first to reach him were Ron and Hermione, and it was their arms that were wrapped around him, their incomprehensible shouts that deafened him. Then Ginny, Neville, and Luna were there. Then all the Weasleys, and Hagrid, and Kingsley, and McGonagall, and Flitwick, and Sprout, and Harry could not hear a word that anyone was shouting, nor tell whose hands were seizing him, pulling him, trying to hug some part of him, hundreds of them pressing in, all of them determined to touch the boy who lived, the reason it was over at last. Harry was an indispensable part of the mingled outpourings of jubilation and mourning, of grief and celebration. They all wanted him there, with them, their leader and symbol, their savior and their guide. He must speak to the bereaved, clasp their hands, witness their tears, receive their thanks. For those of you on podcast only, the scene that we get in the movie, there's so many things wrong. One, no one was there when Voldemort was actually killed. So we don't actually see how anyone in the castle knows that the fight is over, because that actually doesn't happen. Harry and Voldemort off by themselves. That's their own scene. Maybe William will pick that. I don't know. Anyways, this is the first time we see Harry with anyone besides Voldemort for the last 5 minutes of the movie as they do their silly fight scene. Not one person talks to Harry. Not one person even makes eye contact with Harry. They're all awkwardly sitting by themselves. Harry is walking sadly down the middle of them, and it's in complete reverse order where Harry or Ron and Hermione are not in the scene at all. Hagrid is the only person that talks to him. Hagrid has not seen him since he was carrying him dead in his arms. Like, this is the first time they're meeting, and Hagrid just says, Harry,
oh man,
and hugs him, and then turns around and goes back the way that he was coming from, which is just a brick wall behind him, and then Harry follows after him. And it is the worst scene that I have ever seen. It doesn't make any sense, and I just don't understand how anyone could have this text in front of them and just do the exact opposite. Harry has to be a part of everything. I have an idea. Let's make it so no one even makes eye contact with him. Harry is they're begging with him to be with him. I have an idea. Let's make him a fungus that no one will even look at. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it's so beautiful in the book where like they do it in perfect order, where it's Ron, it's Hermione, it's Ginny, it's Neville, it's the teachers, it's the Weasleys, it's all in perfect unison.
Right.
That everyone who loves Harry,
it's the beautiful moment of release, yes.
The chosen one fulfilling his destiny.
The war is over. The greatest evil in history has been vanquished. And the movie's like, let's keep it silent and nobody's around. I mean, think about what she did. In the books, they did it as like, let's make it happen. Literally, as dawn breaks over the castle and the entire wizarding population of Britain is there. Like all adult female and male people of age are pretty much there. They've all showed up. This is the final battle. This is Armageddon. And like the sun, like how much more cinematic and like could she paint?
Yes, it's cinematic. She wrote a movie scene.
She wrote like the most cinematic, like climactic moment. And they're like, let's pare it back.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Like, and again, they don't even show us how the war ended. They don't even show how anyone in the castle knows that Voldemort's dead. It actually makes no sense. I don't know how someone can sit and watch this scene and say, this is good. I don't know how a single human being in the entire world can possibly think that. And I mean that. I'm not being, this isn't hyperbole. Watch it and tell me what you're watching and tell me that they did this right. I've never met a human say that.
So I'm going to smuggle onto yours because I won't use it. But shout out House of R. We love a smuggle. But, you know, the preceding moment to the literal like destruction of Voldemort is what you're picking, right? Like he's gone and like the friends and family show up. That's like the point you're picking. Before that, like the fact that they just completely skip the you know, like Harry, the culmination of 7 books and Harry explaining to Voldemort how Dumbledore and I have defeated you.
The flaw in the plan.
The flaw in the plan. They're just skipping over that completely.
Which is the whole book. It's all 7 books. It's a book about love.
And they're just going to skip over that completely. That movie, I remember I went and saw it opening night, midnight, or something like that with my brother and my sister-in-law, and probably my sister as well. I don't know. Long time ago. But I legit just remember laughing throughout the whole movie. Like, it felt like they were just like, please kill me. Like the filmmakers and everyone was just like, please let this end so we're finally done. It felt like they just gave up. And they're like, we want that over. Like, let's just get this over with. We all want to move on with our lives. Did you get that vibe? I got that vibe. They did not.
It was unbelievable. It was like, I mean, I assume they filmed it all at the same time, and it was like, well, whatever we have when we release part 1, we're not going to put any more effort into part 2. Whatever that edit is, it's done. You know, we're good. It's over. And I'm sure they were done after part 1 and never.
Yeah, I have so many things I could pick, and I want to like, I'm trying to pick stuff too that like doesn't just like try to be like something little things necessarily. But right. Like that's a big one. That's a big.
I tried to again set it up. Like there were 3 moments in the 7th, 8th movie that I was so excited for. This was one of them, and they just failed. And this again, I'm trying to hit 3 categories. I already mentioned one's Dumbledore, but in this one, it's just I don't even know. It's a tragedy. There's no depth. Again, those were kind of the points I was trying to make. But and also again, there's plot points that actually don't make sense. And one of them again is how did the whole castle find out that Voldemort's dead? But anyway,
like why would no one want to? Why would you not want? Whatever. It's insane. That's a great pick. That is a great pick. I respect it, and it's just one of those things where like I go back to what we've talked about before. Like I truly just don't think they respected like the source material at all. They're just like, let's how about them ducats? You know, let's make the money.
We've already made the money. Everyone's going to see part 2. It doesn't matter.
And it was a huge culmination. Did you like? I like Googled, you know, and like was like reading what other people think and the like Reddit threads of like people talking about this kind of stuff. Like I just die laughing reading some people defending stuff. And I'll get to one. I'm not going to pick it this time, but there's another one that I'll address. I want to move out of book 7 and I'll come back to it later. So, okay. My second pick will be from the first movie. Okay. And I want to be fair because like I said, I was an 11-year-old. I didn't know that like I had seen a lot of movies in my life. By the time I was 11, I'd watched all the Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I'd watched tons of stuff, but I had never like read a book and like been excited for it coming out. Right.
Exactly.
And obviously the little bookworm I was, like I read book 1 and I didn't know that like, hey, when you make a movie, it's not going to be 100%, you know, that's on me. I had 11-year-old expectations were way too high. And like I said, I could say there's a couple things about the book. Like my philosophy on these books, like none of the actors, well, I don't know about none. But for the most part, the actors, like they're all fine, capable people. It's not their fault. I don't hate Daniel Radcliffe. I don't hate any of them. Is that fair? Like I don't.
Yes,
it's not about that.
To hate on people's jobs, except for the writers who wrote some of these scenes. But yes, I agree.
Right. It's more about like how it was made. Right. So the book 1, the entire thing where Hagrid tells him he's a wizard. This is one of my like. What am I pick one of yours or something? What?
I am so glad you're picking this. I did not have it on my list, but on on Movies That Must Not Be Named, I made 5 different posts about Hagrid in that shack.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that shack it's one of the coolest moments of the entire series, obviously. But in the movie, like Hagrid like knocks open the door and sorry about that, and he puts it back, and then he's in, and it takes like 2 lines of dialogue, and then he's like, "You're a wizard, Harry." What? You didn't like they didn't follow the steps at all of like, hey, look, like, hey, your parents died, and like all this stuff. They just like skip forward, and all of a sudden he's like, "You're a wizard," and Harry's like, "I'm a what?" And then they're off. Like you couldn't spend 5 minutes like just kind of following the story of like this little boy who's abused and unloved, having a giant 10-foot man show up and rescue him from his evil aunt and uncle who hate him. Like, and all of a sudden, and you can explain it better than I can because you've made those things, and that's what made me think of it too. But like, they don't like build that out at all. They're just like, he shows up. Hagrid is like, he's not like, what do you mean? Why do you not know? None of that stuff. He's just like, they're just like, I'm a what? You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard.
There are so many things wrong. I won't go into all the detail, but yeah, and this is definitely one of the themes as well, is like Dumbledore, we just went through, he has like too much emotion and the emotion doesn't make sense, but there's so many characters like Snape and Hagrid who have real emotion and they have none of it in the movies. Hagrid is just a big dumb oaf in the movies with no emotion, and he's just nothing. He's just a big slow guy. And
yeah, he's like, blimey, didn't you wonder where your parents learned it all? Learned what? And then he's like, you're a wizard. What?
And then like he doesn't come close to getting mad if he's like, a car crash, that's an outrage. But there's no anger in him at all. And then Harry like just has no the clear logical next step is, okay, my parents didn't die in a car crash. How did they die? But they push that like 20
later
minutes
when they're
later,
like walking through Diagon Alley.
Yes, it's like, oh, Ollivander brought up Voldemort, no, I didn't. He still doesn't know Voldemort. He still doesn't know Voldemort when he goes into Ollivander's shop, because movie Hagrid is the worst shepherd into the Wizarding World you've ever seen, where he lets Harry go into the Wizarding World not knowing who Voldemort is. But it's immediately addressed. Like Hagrid is like, I have to tell you about Voldemort immediately because of course you do. But movie Hagrid and movie Harry are both way too stupid to ever think of how did they die.
Yeah, and so that was just like the first moment in the movie where I was like, I remember as an 11-year-old thinking like, well, why did they skip all this stuff, this conversation back and forth of Hagrid? Like, it's not like it's some long scene. Like no. It's literally just a conversation. That movie's long too. And I know you can't fit everything in, but like, I don't know, that seems really important to talk about that. And it was just one of those things is like, looking back on it, I think it's like, I guess it's like, the reason I put on there is because it's like one of the original sins of
it is
the thing. Like, I just don't think sin. They just didn't care. They just didn't respect or
Move
care
on.
about.
We're going to Diagon Alley. We can't spend time in the shack. It's our least attractive background. That's a great pick. The original sin is a good way to frame that, and I agree. And next week, are we doing a Mount Rushmores of chapters, and we just get to pick? I mean, we kind of started this a year ago, where I have the goal to rank every single chapter of Harry Potter 1 through how many?
We
do
got
we
an
have?
Excel
570.
sheet.
Yeah,
we've got an Excel sheet.
That would be the end goal. But anyways,
Scott introduced my awesome son, who's a little genius into Excel, and who, for a kid who looks at the world as like one big, I don't know, math problem, it opened his mind. He was thrilled.
It was exciting for me as well, and I'm glad that there are others who enjoy making simple spreadsheets. But Chapter 4, Book 1, The Keeper of the Keys is definitely on I believe I made a top 13. But
that's one of my most re-listened to. It's just so fun. to read and re-listen. I say listen because I do love Jim Dale's interpretation of the characters, and it's really fun to listen to. But it's one of the original sins. It's a terrible scene. They just kind of rush through it and like sweep it under the rug. And yeah, I remember like Hagrid, like that's another part of that. Hagrid like towering over them and like getting mad and mad and mad. And he didn't even seem mad. He just seems like
It's not bad at all.
never.
That guy can't be angry.
He's not angry. Like he's not when he says never insult Albus Dumbledore in front of me. He's not even angry. He's like
No.
quiet mad. He's not
Exactly,
emotionally mad. Hagrid's like flying off the handle.
Yes, the descriptions they have in the books are, his shadow filled the room. Like he's horrifying, and there's nothing scary about this giant, slow moving.
Getting screamed at by a 10-foot tall, bearded, wild man would be terrifying.
Exactly. That's a great number 2. I'm gonna. I've never really understood like on Pardon My Take where they have to like debate like which one they're gonna do for their Mount Rushmore. I was like, you've already made the list, like just do it. But
yeah,
but it's real.
Yeah, but they have a lot riding on the line. They have a lot riding on it. Like
It's true.
They put it out for vote, and like the loser is gonna have to do something terrible.
It's true. 24 hours in a room alone, or
an
hour and a half of stand up. Yeah, there's some tough stuff. Which means we need some bets on this. But anyways, I'm gonna go again. One of the points I really want to hit is Dumbledore. You've already done a great job with. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? I am going to.
No.
Did you put your name in the goblet? That's what it is. That's an impressive and somewhat horrifying impression. There are a couple Dumbledore scenes which I truly hate. I'll get some more in the honorable mentions. But I've got to get my Dumbledore in there. And you've already said it, right? Like, how would you describe Dumbledore? Dumbledore is always in control because he knows more than everyone else in the room at all times. He knows more than Voldemort. And he just alphas him so fast when he just drops knowledge that he thinks Voldemort doesn't know. Boom, he's alphaed. He does the same thing to Fudge. I mean, Fudge is not hard.
Dumbledore's always a step ahead. He's always a step ahead.
Always a step ahead. Always. And book 5. Book 5, we get some Dumbledore, and he has some amazing scenes. And I know there's a lot of people who hate on book 5. I testify often that there are 6 chapters in book 5 that are better than almost anything in 1, 2, and 3 besides kind of the great ending chapters of any of those books.
Book 5 is fantastic. It's just like every movie, every show has like the low point of like where are things the suckiest for the character, and there's a lot of that in the book. Hero's journey has to have a bottom, and that is the bottom of the hero's journey. And there are amazing chapters that we should all enjoy, and I don't like it when people say, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would definitely say Sirius's death is like the lowest point of Harry's life that we see him at in the books. Right?
Absolutely.
Like it affects him more than Dumbledore, because by the time Dumbledore dies, he's like more hardened. He's like more up to it. And he's battle scarred. He's prepared. He knows how to mourn now, where he's able to smile at the funeral. Right. Sirius meant more to him. Sirius was the closest thing. Oh, we got to talk about that another time. Father and a brother. Okay. Yeah. So this is the scene where in the movies that must not be named, I titled it The Sacking of Sybil Trelawney. And again, I will read the text, and then Cassie will put up the clip, and I will describe it for listeners only. And I'm just going to start with, I hate this so much. So I'm just going to start with Dumbledore. I'm just going to start where I pulled the text. That would be mine, said a deep voice. The oak front doors had swung open. Students beside them scuttled out of the way as Dumbledore appeared in the entrance. There was something impressive about the sight of him framed in the doorway against an oddly misty night. Yours, Professor Dumbledore, said Umbridge with a singularly unpleasant little laugh. I'm afraid you do not understand the position. I have decided that Professor Trelawney is not up to scratch. I have dismissed her. To Harry's very great surprise, Dumbledore continued to smile.
A classic Dumbledore. You are quite right, of
Because
course,
he's
Professor
a step
Umbridge.
ahead.
Always. You are quite right, of course, Professor Umbridge. As High Inquisitor, you have every right to dismiss the teachers. You do not, however, have the authority to send them away from the castle. I'm afraid, he went on, with a courteous little bow. Professor Umbridge was standing stock still, staring at Dumbledore, who continued to smile benignly. And what, she said in a whisper that nevertheless carried all around the entrance hall, are you going to do with her once I appoint a new divination teacher who needs her lodgings? Oh, that won't be a problem, said Dumbledore pleasantly. You see, I've already found us a new divination teacher, and he will prefer lodgings on the ground floor. You found, said Umbridge shrilly, you found, might I remind you, Dumbledore, that under Educational Decree 22, the Ministry has the right to appoint a suitable candidate if, and only if, the headmaster is unable to find one, said Dumbledore, and I am happy to say that on this occasion I have succeeded. May I introduce you? This is Ferenz, said Dumbledore happily, to a thunderstruck Umbridge. I think you'll find him suitable. Obviously, that took too long. In the movie, here's what happens. Professor Trelawney's getting kicked out. Dumbledore opens the doors. He doesn't look impressive in any way, and there's no Starry Night behind him. Obviously, that's not the point of this, but just pointing out things, all the differences here. Dumbledore does come out, and he does say, you can't kick her out of the grounds. That's my job. And then Umbridge gives him a comeback, and this is so the Ferenz never comes. He never actually makes his real point. All he does is save Trelawney from getting kicked out. Then Umbridge says, "You have that power for now," threatening him. And then Dumbledore breaks eye contact with her. His eyes just start shifting like a I don't know, like a 5-year-old child bowing down to their oppressive leader, and then he turns tail like a wounded dog, and then yells at the students, don't you have studying to do? Dumbledore, again, going back to your point, putting anger and fear into the pupils that he has served for 70 some years. He loses the situation in every conceivable way. Umbridge alphas him so hard, and then he takes it out on the children. I cannot tell you how much I hate this more than the Goblet of Fire scene.
This is
because
character assassination.
it is character assassination. Dumbledore owns everything and everyone, especially the least likable character in all 7 books, Dolores Umbridge. And Dolores Umbridge owns him in this scene, and I cannot handle it.
That's unforgivable. That's an unforgivable curse on that.
When he drops eye contact and just starts looking at nothing, I don't know. I don't know why anyone who's never read the books would think anything of Dumbledore. Think that he's a great wizard in any way, shape, or form. I don't know where you would get that at any point during these 7 movies.
No, you wouldn't. It's ridiculous. Because, like you said, he's always in control. He's never being outmaneuvered or outsmarted, and he is infinitely always remembers manners. He is always,
Yes.
always, always kind and proper, and doesn't lose his temper. Don't
you all have studying to do?
I mean,
Yes,
there's times
when
where
he's dying.
right, the time where he's the most angry, it's an off-page moment, but it would be when Mundungus messed up and wasn't there, and Hermione talks about how he was scary, right? But even then, he's in control of his emotions. He doesn't lose control. He's, and I agree. That's just one of the worst things in that movie. It's terrible. And again, I just don't really. This is what I don't understand. Why did they do this? What?
I have no idea. This isn't an interpretation of Dumbledore. This isn't it's just not Dumbledore. It's not even close.
Right. And like I said, I don't really understand that at all. It's not it's not well, there's no time. We got to cut this out. You had the scene. Or even if you're
you started it that way.
Because in the movie they don't introduce Ferenzi, right?
No, I don't think he ever.
No, right? So you could cut that part out if you're well, we don't have time to introduce a whole nother teacher or something. I don't know, but why change his complete personality? That's the stuff that will drive me insane to no end. Okay.
I mean,
Um,
I'll just finish with I think Dumbledore is perfect, and I know there's a lot of hate of like Dumbledore was a flawed man. I don't think he was flawed. I think he was perfect, and I love everything about him, and he did everything perfect. Okay, he should have told Harry after in the fourth book. He should have
Right.
told him after the Triwizard. There's no doubt about that. But I don't care, and I love him. And the movie Dumbledore
yeah,
is
he's
not
perfect
lovable.
in the sense that like he's a perfect character. Like
Yeah.
he's not perfect in the perfect in the sense where he never like erred, but like I don't know,
One
like he had a job to do and he did it in the most loving way he could. He could have been a lot more ruthless, right? So
And he was the only one who could do it. Like everyone else in the Wizarding world is an idiot compared to him. Like he's I
Yeah.
don't. Is there anything like this? Like, is there? I don't know. Like, I mean, Gandalf is obviously a similar role, and Yoda's, seems to be wiser than most. But like, I
right,
feel
but
like
like
Dumbledore is just so much higher
Dumbledore's
than everyone
stature
else.
in the Wizarding world is like Jordan in the 90s. Like it is
There is no peer.
there is no equal and no peer. Like he is mythical in his like it reminds me of, I don't know, that I relate everything to sports, I guess, but it's like the way people think of like, Jordan or Messi, who has like a left foot kissed by God. Like people like literally like I don't know, like the way people think of like Messi and like how insanely powerful he is as a force of nature on the soccer field and like Jordan on the court. Like Dumbledore is that in the Wizarding world. Like he's more than a man. He is a living legend.
Exactly.
Like, and he is a force of nature that people can't like understand and are like intimidated by. Right?
It's yeah. And his
So-
greatest feat happened in like 1940, and then he's still the greatest 60 years later. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I imagine it's like how people like when the Dream Team showed up in Barcelona and all these peons were looking at Michael Jordan and David Robinson and Barkley and they're like, these are more than men. I am nothing.
I'm not
People
here to
look at
play
Dumbledore.
basketball against them. Yeah, I'm here to get an autograph.
Yeah. Turned in stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good one because it is hilariously terrible. And like when you watch these now, like I can't help but laugh because it's so bad, but they didn't care. They just didn't care. All right. I will go for my third one and I'll bring up, I think this has got to be one of the internet ones, right? And I just have to say it because I have to discuss it. The hug, Voldemort hugging Draco. Right?
This is definitely, yes, it would make most Mount
Like
Rushmores.
I can't get out of here without talking about it. And I will say this. So number one, my wife read Tom Felton's like biography. And she really liked it. He had a lot of interesting things to say. And he talked about this and how it was like ad-libbed. Like the Ralph Fiennes just kind of like, they did a million takes, right? And this is the one they chose. And again, this is why it's not the actor's fault. Like Tom Felton isn't a bad actor. Ralph Fiennes isn't a bad actor. But like nothing about this makes sense. And the other thing he mentioned, Tom Felton, he's talked about this way before his book, but apparently audiences in Europe like thought it was chilling and scary that Voldemort hugs him. And in America, people laughed. And I was like,
We don't have any love in our hearts.
I was like, no, I think I just don't. Okay, there is no other way to read this than the creators have zero grasp of the characters. And I was online and I'm like looking through like these like Reddit conversations of people saying, "Oh, I thought it was chilling." I'm like, you clearly have no idea about the character. Like everything, if you think that, everything you know just comes from the movies, right? And that's fine if that's how you interpret things. Because in some ways, I feel bad when I make fun of movies because like it brought in so many more people to this thing I love because they made hugely commercially successful movies that people really like, right?
It's why this game exists. Surely it wouldn't without the movies, which I haven't really thought of till now. So good point.
So like if someone really loves the movies, like I don't hate that person. But I just don't understand how like Voldemort is evil incarnate. He has no good left in him. he is gone beyond saving. He has chosen ultimate evil, and Draco, like, awkwardly walking across and like Voldemort hugging him, it is a complete lack of understanding of the character. There's nothing chilling or scary about it. If you're trying to scare him, you would look at him and do something scary looking, like look at him with a look and like intimidate him.
Yeah.
Since when are hugs intimidating? What? It's awkward. It's stupid. It's terrible. My theater laughed. I remember it vividly. People laughing, right? I mean, we could do a whole pod about just book 7. I mean, movie part 2, movie 8, part 2, whatever. But it is a complete atrocity and a complete failure of art to think that, like, yeah, the most evil, magic Hitler guy is going to be like, oh, welcome back, Draco.
Well, to
Why
your
would
point,
he hug him? What?
The scene right before this is seeing what's left of Voldemort's soul, right? Like how scarred and maimed he is. He cannot feel remorse, which is the only thing he has left. And so, yeah, therefore he cannot show affection to any other human being. And again, if you're saying he's not showing affection, he's trying to chill, intimidate, scare.
Then he would just torture him in front of everybody because he's a psycho who loves hurting and killing people.
Yes, he does. Who gets a rush every time it happens.
Right. Like, what do you mean? Like, nothing about it makes sense. And like, I'm sorry, but like, I've read some people like on the internet trying to be like, oh, I thought it was a great character. Like, no, it's terrible. It's a stupid choice. It is laughable. They don't understand the character. They don't understand the story. And if you watch it, I mean, what the stupid meme, like the European mind can't comprehend. People make memes about that. Well, if the Europeans think that is scary, then, I mean, oh, my
gosh. Need to watch The Conjuring 1 through 5.
Like, what? Like, how terrible is that? It's one of the worst, like, singular moments across the eight films. And again, all of mine go back to a complete misunderstanding or respect of the source material, the characters, or anything.
Fair.
Imagine if, like, Sauron, like, he comes to his corporeal form and, he, like, gives Sam, or I don't know, the Witch King of Angmar. He, like, goes to the Witch King of Angmar. Yeah. Oh, let me hug you.
Or the mouth of Sauron. Yeah. Like, hugs Aragorn as he comes over to, get...
Right. Like, what would be like other, like, Thanos? Thanos. Like,
well, they pretend Thanos does have one, though. I mean, but
yeah, but like, I mean, like,
hug.
Like, if you stopped it in the middle of like the final battle in the Avengers Endgame.
Okay. Good point.
And he's like, oh.
If one of the Wakandans defected and tried to come over to him and he just gave him a hug and said, come, brother, and then kept killing Avengers. Yeah.
Man.
Good call.
Yeah. Also, like, why did they have that scene anyway? Because it's not how it happens in the book. Like, Draco is like missing and Voldemort's like, if Draco's not here, it ain't my problem. Your son chose. And
Draco
he's like, he just
2
doesn't.
minutes of screen time.
Like, the most, oh my gosh, the entire reason Dumbledore and Harry win is because Voldemort doesn't care about anyone except himself. He is completely and utterly alone and wants to be alone and is devoid of any love and affection. He doesn't care about anyone. Even his most devoted servants, he would throw them away in a second.
He cannot
no matter what.
He cannot understand love, and he cannot understand he cannot understand a person's reaction when it's based on love.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know about the rest of you. Hugging is a sign of love.
So is love.
Hug my children to scare them.
Are we ready to talk about Cursed Child? Just kidding. We're not bringing that up.
I want to go see Cursed Child. We want to go see it this fall.
Same. It's coming to Raleigh in December.
Raleigh. Why not Charlotte?
It's not coming to Charlotte. I know it's disappointing, but it's fine. Also, I want to take my children, but they can't watch it until they've seen or read all 7 books. So
I have a brother-in-law. They just took all their kids in New York. They were in New York and they went. Took all of them.
My sister's like, you have to go see it in New York because she's like a New York snob, and I'm just like, I don't know.
You should then just be like London.
Yeah, I know. That's
like I'm not going to settle for New York.
Exactly. I need
go to the West End.
Full 5, the original 5 hours. Because that's the other thing is
they don't do that Broadway. Anymore. Yeah, even in New York
in London.
I think
New York, but in London, I think they do.
New York is short, so it's the shortened version.
We're all getting shortchanged.
Anyway,
all right, we're doing good. We're I guess we're 4 5/8 of the way through in an hour, so we're doing great.
I think we're doing fantastic. We're amazing at this. Everyone loves it.
I'm gonna do one more serious one, and so again, I've hit kind of like how much I hated when the hate really started was part 2. I hit that lack of depth, lack of understanding. Then I hit Dumbledore. I really wanted to hit that, and now I want to hit Snape. And I'm going to focus on the lightning struck tower. I think there are many scenes with Snape that don't do him any justice. Do you have any lightning struck tower pieces that you will have for your final pick?
No, I'm going to stay away from that.
Okay. I'm not going to read anything, but I made, again, I think 4 or 5 posts on this on my original Instagram account. But there's a few things that I want to cover here. One is that actually none of this scene makes any sense. One, Draco, they never set up that he Imperiused Rosmerta, and therefore he has no ability to know that Dumbledore is leaving that night or when he's coming back. He has no ability to know that. So why Draco decides to get up that evening, he's just laying in bed and then he gets up and then walks over to the room of requirement. It actually makes no sense why he chose tonight, why he's anything. Nothing actually makes sense. Then he doesn't cast the Dark Mark because he's not there yet. But he's not there in the book either. But anyway, he never cast the Dark Mark. So there's no reason for Dumbledore to apparate back to the astronomy tower. There's actually no reason for him to be there. And so how Malfoy knows that he's there makes no sense. There's no reason for Malfoy to be in that tower, and there's no reason for Dumbledore to be in that tower. He could have gone anywhere. Number 3, the Order of the Phoenix are not in the movie. And so that means that timeline here, Draco brings everyone through the Vanishing Cabinet. They show us that. Then Draco somehow gets 5 minutes ahead of every single Death Eater and then has time for a 5-minute conversation with Dumbledore. We have no idea. Did he just take off running and sprint? Did the Death Eaters get hungry and go for a snack? Did they go try to kill some children? Like, no idea what they're doing because there's no Order of the Phoenix there. So those are 3 things that just actually make no sense about the scene. And if anyone is paying attention while watching this movie, they would recognize that. But most people are not. They've turned off their brains and they're here for a happy time. Those are actually not the things that I care about, but it's just important to me that, like,
I'm glad you smuggled it in.
None of that makes sense. Literally none of it. But here's the problem with this scene. As you said, what are the things we know about Dumbledore? He's always a step ahead. Manners at all times. While he's dying, he refuses to break that protocol. What are the things, and I'm going to actually ask this. I will ask for your answers, William. What are the things that we know about Harry Potter? If we need to define what we know about Harry Potter by this time at the end of the 6th book, what do we know about him?
Like just as a character, as a person?
Yes.
Yeah.
His core.
I mean, he's incredibly like brave and like driven, like, and he's like obsessive with his mission. And he doesn't even fully understand his mission yet, but he's like very obsessive with, like, defeating Voldemort.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Devotion to his friends and family and everything like that. Well,
absolutely.
Not family, but
absolutely. Those were great answers, and honestly, you didn't say what I wanted, but that's my fault because I just left an open-ended thing. But I agree with all of that. here's what I know about Harry at this point. Everything he said, this is poorly done by me, but I don't care. One, he's impulsive. Literally, his godfather's dead because he flies off the handle.
true.
When someone is in need, when anyone he cares about or even doesn't care about is
As
in
Dumbledore
need,
says, your hothead. He describes it in
Yes.
the seventh
he
book.
will literally do anything. Book 4, he saves a child he's never met from a fake danger because he has to play the hero. And Harry has not changed by the 6th book in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
That's why Sirius is dead. That's why he didn't win the second round of the Triwizard Tournament. And in the movie, so in the book, for those, again, I'm not going to read, but for those who don't know, Dumbledore puts the full body bind curse on Harry so that he is frozen during the entire conversation with Malfoy.
Wandless and silent.
And Harry is under the invisibility cloak, so no one knows that he's there. In the movie, Dumbledore says, Harry, go hide and don't do anything. And Harry says, okay, Dumbledore, because Harry in the movies is well adjusted, and surely he was ready to receive all the
Yeah.
secrets of the Deathly Hallows at this point because he's not hot-headed at all. He's just a calm boy who
That is
also,
true.
you use the words obsessive. In the 6th book, he is 100% certain the entire time that Draco Malfoy and
Right,
Severus
and
Snape are
And
plotting.
it makes the 6th book, like, sometimes you're like, man, dude, chill out. It's like all he cares about. When he's
He
just
is
walking around the
obsessed.
room of requirement, like, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out.
And he's also, to this point, before we learn a little bit more about Snape, 100% correct. So in this moment, Harry is feeling all the validation in the world of a psychotic, obsessed with his mission, obsessed with Snape and Malfoy, and Dumbledore sitting there dying and defenseless. Malfoy up there, the person
It's like
who
if
he
a
literally
conspiracy theorist like found out like his wildest conspiracy was really true.
Yes, exactly.
You're like, you've dedicated your life. You're like, there was people on the grassy knoll. I knew it.
Exactly. He's finding this out now, and he sits there doing absolutely nothing while his hero is dying in front of him, does absolutely nothing. And, maybe we could get past that. Then Snape shows up, and Snape does this to Harry, gives him a, shh, I got this. And Harry lets
I
Snape
forgot about
go
that.
right on by
Oh
him.
my gosh.
If there is anything I know about Harry James Potter, it's that he would literally do nothing. He would, as soon as Snape showed up, he would do the exact opposite. If Snape said sure, he would just start screaming.
He's
There is-
never trusted Snape for good reason, by the way. He's an
Ever.
abusive, mean man.
And he just saw that he's 100% right about Malfoy. So you're telling me that he's just going to stay a silent good boy and let the man that he just found out, he literally just found out. I don't know what happens in the movie. I can't remember. He literally just found out that Snape is the reason that his parents are dead. He literally just found that out. And he just lets Snape
Yeah.
walk on up there and take control of the situation. I hate this scene so much. I know that you're doing fun things and laughing. I cannot laugh at this. It's so horrible. It is the least Harry Potter thing that's ever happened in all of Harry Potterdom. And I'm actually not finished, but that is the crux is Harry. But I said that this was actually about Snape. Then Snape goes up there, and I know there's this whole big thing of like J.K. Rowling told Snape like what his real end is, and he was the only one who knew, and how amazing that is. I think it was the biggest mistake they've ever made because he never looks like Snape. He's in the book and this scene, his face is filled with hatred. Those are the words that J.K. Rowling used. As he kills Voldemort, you see nothing but disgust and hate on his face. At all times in the entire 6th book, from here until he finally escapes after attacking Harry and telling him he's the Half-Blood Prince, he looks sad and remorseful, and he looks like a man who just killed the only person who knows that he's a double agent and that his life is going to be hell for the next year. He looks so sad. There is no rage. There is no anger. There is no hate. There is nothing. And he's playing it he's playing it because he knows this. He knows that at this point, I can't remember who, I guess 7th book had already been
Right.
out. But anyways, like, it's all parts of that. Again, I had to hit all 5 parts of the Lightning Struck Tower, and I apologize. This is way too long. None of it makes sense. Harry doesn't make sense. Snape doesn't make sense. I didn't even make fun of Dumbledore, but Dumbledore sucks too. And there we are.
Oh man, there's a lot there, and it is absolutely an atrocity of a entire scene. Again, like I keep coming back to like I don't understand how they like how do they come to this? How do they like decide like this is the best way to interpret this story? Like where do they get this idea? We're like, nah, let's just do this. Like, let's just like let's have Stave walk by and go, shh. I totally forgot about that. Man, that is stupid. That is so stupid.
It is unbelievable. I don't know how Cassie's going to clip this. I thought this would be good for like social media, but I'm just monologuing for literally 8 minutes at a time, so can't make a social media clip out of this. But she'll do amazing things.
Well, just keep practicing, and then we'll do another one later.
It's true. I can cut this down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's great. Okay, that whole scene is definitely. I mean, I probably have seen that movie 2 times, which is my other like hottest take. I would honestly be thrilled if this has nothing to do with anything, but if they just retconned Star Wars and said, "Hey, the sequels never happened," I'd be thrilled. Let's start over. There's more nuance in that take, but I would be like, "Great, start over. Get rid of the atrocity that is the Rise of Skywalker, especially." Anyway, all right. So that I'm struggling with number 4 here. This is my last pick for Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
The fourth book is my favorite book. The fourth movie is my least favorite movie. I think it's the worst one.
Chicken and the egg. I mean, surely your expectations here and
well, no, because by then I already knew like, no, I hate these things.
well, that's true.
Whenever I would go see them, it would just be like morbid curiosity, right?
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, I was gonna go see them. I still love Harry Potter, so I'm like interested to see what they do every time. But
Fair.
Number 4, I did not see in theater. I never saw it in the theater. I saw it at home, probably because I don't know. I just wasn't really cool and had a lot of friends, so I didn't go do a lot of stuff. All right, so I guess I will just take. Yeah, I'll just go. I will take it actually from movie 4. The entrance of Beaubaton and Durmstrang. Like
This is on my list. Of
this, there's more impactful things, right? But like,
right.
I mean, Beaubaton and Durmstrang, like this, the book 4 is so interesting that it like, you know, it expands the wizarding world. Book 4 is where we leave like children's book and it becomes a teen, young adult, whatever you want to call it, right? Like it's the jumping off point of like, you can kind of break the series into the first 3 and then the last 4, right?
Yep.
Like, so book 4 is like a big jumping off, and we're literally like the universe of Harry Potter, like it's expanding. And like, so, yeah, Harry's like, yeah, I guess there is like other schools. And so like, there's clearly like a school in France and there's a school in Northern Europe somewhere, right? Where all these other kids go. And then they show up and they have amazing entrances in the book, you know, flying carriage with giant horses, giant woman steps out, a ship that somehow travels underground in a aquifer or something through the core of the earth, right?
Wow.
And shows up in the river, in the lake, which is awesome, right?
It is.
Again, it's magic. Who cares how it works? It's magic. They can do whatever they want. That's one of the things I really like about stuff like this is like I don't have to really explain it. Like, well, it is magic. So, but anyway, in the movie, what they do, right, is like they immediately decide like, hey, look, the Triwizard is happening. This is the opening ceremonies. And like, this is the first night we're here at Hogwarts. And then all of a sudden, welcome to the proud sons of Durmstrang. And like a bunch of boys with buzz cuts that look like skinny Jokic, like as a teenager, right? Show up.
That's a good call.
And they're like dancing and doing acrobatics and they're pounding their stupid rods on the ground and like
They spin them. They spin them so fast they get blurry.
yeah, and then
Don't forget the breakdancing. Don't forget the breakdancing.
Don't forget the breakdancing. Oh my gosh! Like what? Like what? So like yeah, like all these dudes with the Jokic buzz cut show up and then they're like, and the lovely ladies of Beaubaton, and like they're just a bunch of girls in blue, and they like They walk out and they're like doing their like runway walk, and then like they like sigh and like birds flutter out. What? This scene was so stupid. Like
It was.
there's so much cool stuff. That also the fact that like they made it a boys' school and a girls' school. Why?
7
Again,
years,
they
their
don't
entire
care
childhood.
about the entire. They don't care. They just constantly take in any reason to like make changes and just stomp on it. Why would it be an all boys and an all girls school? That doesn't make any sense at all. And it doesn't need to be. Why? And then why do you have them showing up like this Durmstrang school is just full of kids who study the dark arts, and they're all a bunch of Northern European, Eastern European, like hardened dudes, and and they're like dancing again.
Exactly.
Like,
They
and I
clearly
get it.
They have a dance class.
Right. And I get it that like in the book, Fleur is a girl. She's the one from Beaubaton. Crumb is a boy. And they're like, nah, just make it boy and girl schools. Why? Why would they be boy and girl schools? That sounds like an enormous waste of resources for the wizarding world. It's already confusing enough how like these kids show up from, all of Southern Europe and like Spain. And are the kids in Spain going to Beaubaton? That seems to be the thing. So I guess they all speak French, right? Or they could have some magic solution where they can all understand each other, which I would love. That is cool. I think there'd be something that they could do that. But anyway, that whole scene makes me so mad. It sucks so bad. It's a joke, and I defy you to watch it and not laugh at the stupidity.
It is hilarious. There are many things to make fun of. Again, the breakdancing. There's also one girl who like doesn't get the pretty dress, and she's just like in a leotard, and I assume she's like not actually like there to participate in the Triwizard tournament. She's just like the jester of the school.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
And they're like, all right, you did your part. Now here's a port key. Go back. Go back to France.
Maybe she has to help Hagrid take care of the horses. I don't know. But
she's like a servant. Oh,
yeah, exactly. I also would sneak Trojan Horse. Similarly, the Hogwarts Frog Choir into this of just like
right,
why and when. Like they're doing this on the opening day of school. So can we assume that they practiced all summer together and that they came to the first day of school prepared for this frog choir?
The funny thing is like adding stuff isn't necessarily a problem, but like you skip so much. What are you adding? Like precious time to a frog choir. By the way, at the theme park, they have like people doing like a presentation of like they have frogs and they're singing. It's like a daily thing where like they have a little stage and they do. My sister texted me. She was like, "It's cute that you think that they're gonna change aesthetics when they have billions poured into the parks." And I was like,
she's 100% correct.
I was like, "Shut up! I know."
Billions. No, it's the third movie where they start to, for some reason, feel creative and think, you know what, J.K. Rowling didn't really create enough stuff, and I'm going to.
And it's interesting because like he's a really good filmmaker, and there's actually some parts about that are like better than other movies. Like that's a better made movie than other ones. Like it in a lot of ways. But Alfonso Cuarón is a good director, and like
Well, then why did he choose to have talking shrunken heads narrate the entire night bus scene?
Yeah, like those are the things that like if we had to like tier out things, like I would tier that below like a million other things. But it made me mad for sure. I remember seeing it in the theater and being like, that was what is happening, right? Like why are there these like Jamaican shrunken heads like hanging out?
I hated them so much. They were one of my favorite posts to make.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Okay.
But at least that's not as bad as assassinating important characters.
No, it's not. Okay. I've hit what I wanted. I hit the lack of depth on Harry and Snape and Dumbledore. And this last one, it's more along your lines of just makes me laugh, but also more it makes me angry. And there's a couple of them. But I'm gonna go again. I can't believe this is hard. I can't believe it's like, which one do I choose? I've already chosen, but you second guess. Again, there's a couple. I'll hit them in honorable mention. We'll do honorable mention
Yeah,
quickly.
we'll do
But
honorable mention.
it's the opening of the third movie, coming back to this allegedly good movie. Not good movie, good parts with a good director. The opening.
Shout out to Haley. She
is-
has a better opinion. My sister could explain why it's. Anyway, moving on.
We'll have her on as a
Yeah, she
celebrity
can
guest
come to your house.
Yeah, true. It'll be exciting in person. The opening is Harry trying to do homework, and he's
Oh
sitting.
my gosh!
He's sitting in his room under his blanket,
This is the
going,
worst. This is the worst.
Lumos Maxima, Lumos Maxima, and then on his fourth time, he actually lights it up, and it lights up the whole screen, and it's the intro to the movie, which like the light thing is fine, but there's just a couple things wrong here. One,
What? A couple? It's like the most.
One, that's not a real spell. So just again, why
You know
are we
how I
making
feel
up
about
spells?
that. You know
Yes,
how I
why
feel
are we-
about that.
Why are we making up spells? Two, Lumos is like the easiest spell in the world. So I guess Lumos Maxima is just incredibly difficult that third year Harry literally can't do it. What a freaking
It's
idiot.
like a flashlight, but like maximum, dude. Yeah, you don't even know.
But Lumos is like literally like the first spell he learns. That's not true, but it's early. Like halfway through the second book, we know like 4 spells, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
And third is some movie watchers only maybe don't know that you actually can't do magic outside of Hogwarts. And literally, again, the post that I very much enjoyed making on movies that must not be named. Literally 5 minutes after this, Harry is running down the stairs and his uncle saying, "You're not allowed to do magic. You can't leave." And Harry, so again, in this movie world, you're not allowed to do magic. But for some reason, Harry is doing magic seemingly every night of his summer break. And again, just no one cares. No one pays attention. No one who's watching this movie and doesn't find a problem with this. Well, first of all, I want to be you. Second, I just can't believe that you're actually paying attention to anything that's happening, and how it just doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. Can you do
Yeah.
magic or not outside of Hogwarts as an underage child? I don't know. Tell me. Because my post goes on to show Hermione fixing Harry's glasses in Hogsmeade or in Diagon Alley, and all of them doing magic at the Burrow together as they're all just hanging out, just doing magic together. Can you do magic outside of Hogwarts or not? I think you're muted, William.
I did mute because I put my hands on this thing. It murdered me when I was a 11-year-old, and on the Hogwarts Express, Hermione's like Oculus Reparo. Why?
She should have gotten a letter immediately from
Why?
From the Ministry of Magic.
She's never. Oh my gosh. But the. Why add Oculus? Why? You're showing off that you can like Google what Latin is.
That's a good point.
Like
If she didn't say that, I guess.
wouldn't it be like,
Who
oh,
knows?
like what if like in the movie world, apparently to repair things, you have to know like the Latin cognate of like an object, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I don't know, like
Good point.
what's like if you had a broken wall
Table?
or table,
Wall? Yeah.
you know, like I don't know,
Broken dish.
like
I
you'd
just
have to
start
know.
saying things in Spanish.
There is a silencio.
True. True.
But yeah, no, I think you're right. The opening of that, like that is terrible. Like what? Like, and again, like they just don't like. There's no like continuity in like respect for the world that's already built in there. So,
No.
like you're just allowed to, you know, and like Uncle Vernon keeps like checking on him, right? And he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then like Harry's like pretending to be asleep or something. Like also like what a lame spell to be upstairs. Like what if I like just had made my wand like really bright? Like I don't know.
Just get a flashlight, you idiot.
Yeah.
Clearly this magic is beyond you.
Oh
You
my
have to
gosh.
scream. You have to scream.
Or if you're allowed to do magic, apparently, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Make Dudley's toenails grow or something. Like get back at your aunt and uncle. You know?
Unbelievable.
Oh man.
Should we run through honorable mentions and then do one thing that we didn't hate?
Yes, let's do it. Okay. I had honorable mentions burning the burrow in the 6th movie.
I thought
That's
that would
a
be on your
complete atrocity, and it's so stupid. And then like Bellatrix, like I killed Sirius Black, like, and then like Ginny runs after him. You know, I think they're trying to like strengthen like the fact that Harry and Ginny like each other apparently. But
They're definitely trying to give Bellatrix more screen time. She was very popular and she was enjoyable on screen, but it's ridiculous.
yeah, insane. Like no reason to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
And they never really bring that back. Like, what's the state of the burrow?
yeah, I don't know. There's so much again. Like, I don't know how. Like, I hate the people that made these movies. They just went out of their way to like do stupid things.
Speaking of the 4th book / movie, your favorite and your least favorite, I thought that you would do the Quidditch World Cup for sure.
The fact that it's just not there.
Yeah.
Well,
they just
okay, that was
spent
one of
10
my
seconds there.
Yeah, that was it. That was one of my other honorable mentions because you can't. I didn't want to say like there is no Quidditch World Cup. Like like the Fudge like uses his wand to like I guess conjure a snitch out of midair and like there's no Ludo
Which is
Bagman.
ludicrous.
There's no Ludo Bagman, which is a huge bummer. But no, like, and then like that is a complete abysmal scene too, where like all of a sudden, like the Death Eaters are marching through and like burning things down and going crazy. Apparently, no one's fighting back, and it looks like the Western Front in 1943. Like it looks like razed to the ground, like Blitzkrieg just happened. Okay. Like Sherman's march through the South, like Atlanta has been burned. Like it was nuts. Okay. And then like Barty Crouch Jr. just shows up. And he's like, Morse, more. By the way, he's a fantastic actor, David Tennant.
Kilgrave.
Yes, Kilgrave, the scariest villain of
Agreed.
any comic, any visual adaptation of a comic of our lifetime. Kilgrave is the most horrifying person. He's a fantastic actor, given nothing to do except, whatever weird tongue thing they gave him as a thing.
I knew I couldn't have done this as a thing, but like in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd book, they do like no hints. Like there's no hint that Quirrell has Voldy. There's no hint that Ginny is the one who's opening.
If
the
you read the
chamber.
book, there's no
there's no hints of Peter and Sirius connection. But then in the 4th one, they're like, oh, let's actually do a connection. And this is the most obvious thing in the world, where it's like they zoom in on Barty Crouch Jr. licking himself, and then they zoom in on Moody licking himself, and it's just like, what are we doing here? What are you kidding me?
That one, I had that. So like the burning the burrow, the shoelaces, Ginny's shoelaces, dancing.
That one I don't even remember.
What? Which one?
Her dancing shoelaces?
No, well, shoelaces is one thing. Like Ginny, like tying Harry's shoes. There's nothing more sensual than they're more flirty than tying shoes.
You're not on social media, but there's a hilarious one where this guy sets it up where he's just like, tell me a movie like flaw in a scene that you see that nobody else notices, but you notice it every time. And then it's like, did you ever notice in this scene? And it's that scene with Ginny and Harry. And then he's like, do you ever notice that Ginny? And then he just starts yelling that they gave Ginny no effing personality. And
it's true. They did not.
It's pretty hilarious.
They did not. Maybe she's a bad actress. I don't know. Probably not. She's probably fine. She's capable of being a person, right? What else did you? I mean, and then the dancing, right? Like
The
Again,
dancing. I
like,
thought, yeah, that's
the kind
that
of
would
thing
be in
where
most
like
people's.
that's the kind of thing where it's like, I'm not saying you can't add something, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you could add that would like that are not in the book or like off page in the book or something. But like whatever that dancing was, it just didn't work. It was stupid and
It's
it just
the
didn't work.
It's the picture of my Instagram account, movies that must not be named, to highlight the what I think is extreme awkwardness. And people, there's a lot of people who love that scene. To your point, on social media, who are
Oh
just
my
like, it's so
gosh.
beautiful. It's showing how platonic and his sister, brother, blah blah. I hate it so much.
Again, like they have a wonderful relationship, Harry and Hermione do, as friends, and they have a lot of depth there. I just think that was a really silly and stupid way to show it.
Yes, it was. Also, Daniel Radcliffe, fine actor. That's not his. That's not his deal.
Oh man.
My other Dumbledore scene, in case you somehow took the other two of mine, was when he wishes Harry sweet dreams. I hate that scene.
He just waxes
so much.
poetic.
Yes, where we can jump over clouds or dive in the deepest oceans. I was like, literally, we're a book away from Harry's dreams being nothing but murder, and like also like, why are you yelling? And it misses so much. Anyways,
Also, Dumbledore has like such beautiful lines, like happiness can be found in the darkest of places if one remembers to turn on the light. Like there's all these beautiful things like Dumbledore says. He's got great one-liners and sayings and stuff.
Voldemort secretly fears both.
Yes, right. Another one I had was like Moody, like just screaming at children. Like he's unhinged and weird in his class. Like,
Yes.
you'd like it, would you? And he's like making the spider jump around. Like he's like unintelligible. Like in the book, you Moody is like definitely crazy, but like not in a like bouncing off the walls, like energetic, crazy way.
He's so
What do you
again? He's so chill. He's horrifying, and he doesn't have to speak
Right.
to be horrifying.
He's
that's true.
methodical. Another one, Lucius Malfoy in the second movie, like
Avada Kedavra.
yeah, he's literally about to murder Harry Potter.
Yes,
That
was one of my
and I
favorite
just thought in
posts.
general, like the other one is like where he's like in the bookstore or something, and he like
Groping
grabs Harry and like pulls him close, and he like uses his weird cane wand thing to like push Harry's hair out of the way to look at his scar. Like, what a complete psychopath! Like, what?
Yes. I read
Like,
my post
how
on
do you
that.
make
earlier
that? And you're
today.
like, yeah, let's make sure people know he's evil.
He is a pedophile, and someone tried to argue that, like, when you look at the subtitles, it's not saying Avada; it's saying some other word that is not a real word in any language.
So they were
It's
just
like,
making
no,
up another spell. They were just
so
making
they
up
made
another
up
spell.
exactly, which is like, is that
No,
better?
he's
I don't
saying
know.
Avada Kedavra when he's and then Dobby stops him.
He's
but
saying like Vera or something like that. I don't know. That's a good one. I looked at both of those posts today. I also had no Quidditch championship in the third movie.
That's a bummer
like-
because that's a sweet.
Well, I feel like as I was rereading some other stuff of thinking of all of Harry's like happiest memories when he tries to make a Patronus, and that's one of them. And it's just like, this is a core memory of our poor tortured hero. Like, to just skip that, but then they like replace, like, Harry doesn't even get his firebolt until the last scene of the third book or the third movie, and then it's him, like, it's a freeze frame ending. It's the worst ending. Like, coming back to the third movie, now that you've brought it up, I think it's abysmal. It's a freeze frame ending. It's him getting the broomstick and he runs off,
Yeah.
and then it's him like him freezing in the air like a freaking, I don't know, 90s cartoon. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And that's our replacement for the Quidditch championship. That is what they
Right.
decided to do instead. So I'm pretty excited.
The other one that I thought of just now, like in the oh dang it, I lost it. Dang it. It just
I'll keep going. Because the three things that I wanted out of the final movie were Molly versus Bellatrix, Harry versus Voldemort,
Huge
and then the
disappointment.
final celebration. Those all sucked.
Yeah, what's up with like Voldemort just like dying, but like turning into like a Thanos snap dust? Like,
Well, same
he's
thing as
supposed to have a body.
what the heck does Molly do to Bellatrix? Like, why have we all been doing Avada Kedavra when we should have been doing the Thanos snap spell? Like, clearly, that's the thing in the seventh
Yeah.
or
Oh,
eighth
I remember
movie.
what I think. Obviously, British people are very familiar with the concept of a ball. It's the most important sport in the world, football, right? Soccer.
Yep.
I don't know if you know this. Balls are round.
Yes.
A quaffle. I don't know. Maybe they just don't understand how hands come into play when you throw things and things are flying through the air. But a quaffle having a bunch of cutouts on it, like hollowed out pieces on it, makes zero sense. It would make it more difficult to throw.
I own a quaffle, and it is basically impossible to catch one-handed without trapping it against your body. It is impossible to grab it.
Right. It's insane. Like, and these are the kind of things where, like, man, when they make this free show, I really hope they just like make a quaffle look like a ball. Like,
There's no way. That's too.
And again,
your sister
that is
a great point. They already made them.
Haley. They already made them. But like, why? Why? But like, you know, those are so far down on the list of like my cares. Like, I just want them to not assassinate characters and have Dumbledore like turn into Homer Simpson and try to like squeeze Harry's neck when he's telling him, "Did you put your name in the goblet?"
That's a good point. That is Homer Simpson.
You know. But there's that, and then I mean, there's just so many things. We could go on forever.
I'll just go. Neville in book 1, they destroy him, or movie 1. No Peeves. You already said no Bagman. Snape again. If you took like Lightning Struck Tower, I was thinking of like in the third movie when Lupin turns into a werewolf. Like Snape just straight up sacrifices himself and just dives in front of the kids and puts his arms out, protecting them like a father. And I'm just like, you can't do this. Like, there's no mystery that Snape is is good or bad in the movie. There's no mystery at all. He's just literally sacrificing himself to a werewolf for these kids who he allegedly hates. This is one I almost chose when I was debating between Lumos Maxima. Is Sirius the first time he sees Harry as a dog? He basically attacks him. He's just growling and barking at him like a psychopath.
Yeah. What?
What is going on here?
Why would the dog be? Why would he look like I'm a mean dog that wants to murder you?
I was like, I just wanted to see you, Harry. And then I thought it'd be really funny if I just scared the crap out of you. James would get a kick out of this. Like, what are you thinking here?
Do you think like they just think that like people are like, well, like we need to make it kind of scary looking so that later people think Sirius Black is definitely evil or something? It doesn't, you know. It doesn't. And actually something really interesting you said about like the stuff, like if you read the book, like there's no hint that Quirrell is the bad guy, right? Like, so it's surprising and interesting. And all that stuff. Ginny, Sirius, like you don't know, like those twists are, you know.
Yeah.
And then anyway, but we'll see. I don't know.
But upon reread, you do pick up on those facts. Upon rewatch, you pick up on nothing. Last ones. Voldemort being in a suit in King's Cross Station. I know it's a vision of Harry, and maybe Harry just thinks he looks hot in a suit, but in no world does Voldemort let Muggle clothes touch his body.
Yeah. Or hey, what about is the opening of the sixth movie where Harry's like at a cafe, like flirting with some girl? And Dumbledore's like, yeah, she's really pretty. What is happening?
It's again, you can add stuff. That's fine. But what?
There's just no. Harry Potter is the most famous person in the wizarding world. It makes sense that girls would throw themselves at him. And he's not, you know, like, yeah, he's not Cedric Diggory, but he's not a 6, okay, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like a random Muggle girl would not be like, oh, like, yeah, this guy's gonna come holler at me. Like, No,
This is based
it's
on
not.
looks alone. Doesn't
On
make
looks
any sense.
alone. Like a guy who's 5'6" walks into a coffee shop, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And then
Okay.
again, Tom Holland is marrying Zendaya, and he's 5'6". So,
But he's
whatever.
rich.
Yep, he's rich.
I thought that you would have this, the snapping of the Elder Wand.
Yeah, that one is again like I remember that was at the very end of the movie. I forgot about that, and it's stupid. But that was my point where they were just like mercifully, let's end this. So they're just like,
I mean,
break it,
again,
done, we're done.
for
No
for
more
movie
talking.
watchers
In the
only-
movie.
For movie watchers only, Harry enters back into the wizarding world completely wandless. He has no wand. He has no ability to be a wizard
man.
for who knows how long. I don't know. I don't know how he goes. I don't know. And the last one is Fred and George hopping the age line and then fighting each other afterwards. And
Yep.
again, character assassination. Fred and George fighting each other is the saddest thing I've ever heard. And they would never fight each
Also,
other.
it makes them look stupid. Like they're just like, "Rah," like fighting, like just punching each other and like rolling around fighting because like
They're like
Nothing-
They're like Sirius Black and James Potter level smart. I don't know if that's true, but they're smart boys.
yeah, just don't have the OWLs to show for it.
Okay, that was the 21 list made, 21 long list that I made. So
Yeah,
if you'd like to know more, yes, I've got 250 posts. So
I just want to say that all of this stuff, I don't begrudge people who want to like the movies. I
I'm
just,
jealous. I'm envious.
yeah, it's true. I'm jealous. I'm envious. But like, if you examine them at all through the lens of like, and I get people are always like, hey, well, I look at them as two separate things, this and that. And like, I still just don't get, I just can't get behind, like, I just don't think they're a good quality. I think they're poorly
Okay.
done.
I've brought up many points of if you're actually watching this with any thought at all, there are so many gaps in. Okay, actually, this is the last one, and it just makes me laugh so hard. Harry sees. I can't believe we're still going. We're at an hour 42, and I don't care.
know.
We see. Harry sees. Sorry, Harry sees Snape bleeding after the troll, and then the very next scene is Snape limping afterwards. And Harry says, well, that explains the bleeding then. And then Hermione's like, what? And he's like, Snape tried to get past the dog and it bit him. And they take out the scene of Harry walking in on Snape saying, how do you keep your eyes on all three heads at once? And so him saying that explains the bleeding while looking at limping is just one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, where it's just like,
Right.
that injury explains this injury. What do you mean? He tried to get past the dog. You can't skip the scene where Snape confesses to being with the dog. Like, it actually
Right.
makes no sense. Like, yes, they are two separate things. I'm proud of you for enjoying this, but you can't look at things like this and be like, yeah, this logically flows, because it doesn't ever.
Right. And I think this is interesting too, because like some background on like me, like I generally like stuff. I don't dislike much like stuff. Like
We have both
obviously-
stayed well into Marvel while most of the world is just like, this sucks now.
Right, exactly. Like I didn't like I can look back and be like, I don't watch stuff and think like, oh, that was terrible. I enjoy almost everything. Right.
We're not Charles
Um
on the Midnight
yeah.
Boys.
Right. Like I like stuff. Like I know I joke earlier about like like whether it's like the Star Wars stuff, I like The Last Jedi. I unequivocally think the Rise of Skywalker was a waste of time. But like when I watched it, I didn't think like, oh, this was terribly done. It was just at the end, you're like, I don't know why we just did any of that. Like I like most stuff. Like so I don't like I think most people like when they can separate the two, the movies and the books out, it's because they just really enjoy the ride. They just like being around it. It makes them happy. And like,
Turn my brain
we
off
think
for
about
2.5
it.
hours.
Obviously, we're the 1% of the 1% who think about this stuff way too much, like for no reason. But
I would just like to openly admit that I am triggered. Everyone lives rent free in my head, and it's at all times. I know that I'm emotionally unhealthy.
yeah, ditto that for me, right? But again, like I just wonder, like, why is it I only feel this way about Harry Potter stuff? and it's not just because it's source material. It's like, man, like I like Lord of the Rings. I like so much stuff, but like I just feel like this is objectively poorly made.
Agreed.
So, but in a way that I just can't get enjoyment out of it. And I am jealous of all of you that can watch it and love it and have fun. I have fun doing this. Talking about it.
Very true. William,
But
can you name something that you enjoy?
name
from
something that I enjoy. Okay, I would
the
say
movies?
music is obviously, but I think I've already said that before, and I'm not gonna use that. But I will say the music is absolutely incredible. But
It is.
that's because John Williams is the greatest composer ever of music for movies and stuff.
Can Hans Zimmer pass him?
No, not a chance.
There's just no.
There's no
path
chance.
in your
Name one
mind?
Hans Zimmer theme that you're gonna be like,
Interstellar.
okay, now go outside to your neighbors and hum Interstellar, and they'll be like, what are you doing?
That's because they are fools.
It's great, but Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, Superman, Jurassic Park, it's over.
Is he just like a little too catchy though? Is he just like the pop version of
Home
a real
Alone.
composer? It's just a little poppy, I feel like. I don't know. It's just like
I'm the least musical person in the world. All I know is I like it. Hans Zimmer is amazing. Everything Interstellar. Also, he moved on from Hans Zimmer though. Hans Zimmer didn't do. Ludwig Göransson did Oppenheimer. It was like
who's doing the Odyssey?
I think
Have you bought your
Ludwig
ticket?
Göransson again. No, I did not buy tickets to the Odyssey yet. But I'm excited to see 5'7" Tom Holland, fight his way through ancient Greece.
Me too.
Anyway, something I like about the movies. Okay, fine.
I'll give you one.
Snape, I think Snape sucks. But again, not because of him. It's because the way they make him do stuff.
I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, you say something.
I'm gonna go with a time where there's no actors on screen.
I know what you're
and
going to
it's-
say. Dang it. I should have got this one. I should have got this one.
It's the tale of the three brothers.
That was the best
which
part. That was the
They
best part
depict
of
in a
the-
very cool, cartoony
It was
shadow way. It was cool.
It was cool. That was legitimately cool.
Again, on my Instagram account, I had a section called You Know Pooh, which were things that I liked. I scrolled through that, and I had the music. I had the tale of the three brothers. I had when they arrive at Hogwarts for the first time, and you see a visual of Hogwarts, and I feel like it did expand my imagination a little bit in terms.
That's
of,
a good scene.
Wow, this
Yeah.
is this is
For sure. They're like
beautiful.
on the
This-
boat and like they pan up and
Yeah.
and the castle looks massive.
This expanded my creative horizons as a child, but it didn't take away from my imagination, which is why we make my kids read the books before you watch the movies, because you just lose your imagination. And I told them that before. I was like, remember what you thought of the characters before now, because you're going to lose your imagination after this. And to me, that's sad.
I'll tell you something. I think as the most perfect is Filch. He is spot on
His
in
jowls.
every possible way. Filch is perfect. And I remember thinking that in the first one. I was like, yeah, that seems like Filch. So yeah, Filch, something I actually really liked Filch. Like, and I even liked it like when he's like at the end of the movie, the 7th, 8th movie, whatever, he just starts like getting a broom and he's like cleaning up stuff. That was funny.
Good old Filch.
Yeah, Filch was like spot on. Like in the part where he's like, gotta keep your wits about you in the forest. That was funny. Like he was good. He was a well cast, well acted. He was good
Filch.
side character.
Well, Filch is like the third person that they cast for the show, so maybe he's going to have an expanded role. I don't know. They seem to
I'd be
make it
fine
a big
with
deal.
it. More Filch.
More squib. What was I going to say? The only other post that I only had 4 posts, but I would like to retract this last post, is I I thought it was pretty funny when Hermione is like, Romilda Vane's trying to give you a love potion, and she's like, she's only into you because she thinks you're the chosen one. And then Harry's like, but I am the chosen one, which is a very popular social media clip. People are like, oh, Daniel, you're so hot. I
It's
love you.
objectively funny. He's
It is
objectively
funny.
not hot.
And yes, correct. But my sister posted a comment that was just like, really, I hate this scene because Harry is she doesn't even like the music. She has zero poos. We should have her on to give her Mount Rushmore.
Let's do it.
She's like, no, actually, the music it's not that good. It's like annoying. I don't know, but she's
Well, I will say though.
yes,
That's it.
exactly. That is Harry Potter. And
You gotta have a tune, and that's good. It's a good tune.
it is.
It sounds magical.
We copied the podcast music after that. So, anyways, but she's like, no, this scene's terrible because Harry would never like enjoy being the chosen one. He would never flaunt that or enjoy the attention that he's getting. He hates all the attention. He wants to be Neville. He wants anyone to take this mantle from him. And then once he receives it, he'll do anything to. She's just like, that is not Harry Potter. That again, character assassination. Like she's like, no, that scene is unacceptable.
There's so much. I feel like I could make a Excel sheet where I could like break this down into like degrees of like issues. And I guess I don't know. I struggle with this because like hopefully people think it's funny or like silly, the kind of stuff we're making fun of. But like I don't know. I really care about this new show, and I won't be like my 11-year-old self where I'm like, completely naive that things are a certain way. Right? Because when I was 11, I had that thing. I knew that book back to front. And so like even the slightest variations, I was like, what? Why? Right? Right. That's not how I imagined it or something. And like, I've definitely made peace with like, well, that's not how I imagined it kind of thing. Right. Like Hogwarts existed in my mind and it still does exist in my mind. And they made a movie version of it. And there's some things that look fine. Some things I think look stupid, whatever. You can live with that. But I really, really care that they do good work. I mean, like, I hope it's objectively like quality. And I feel like there's just unlimited things you can point to, be like, they didn't do a good job at this.
And I feel like it will be. I don't know. I don't watch all the HBO shows, but they don't not try, right? They're there to make critically acclaimed. They want to be top dogs. We make real stuff, not fluff. So hopefully that's the case. I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours, but coming back to your point, that this was the first time, like as 11-year-olds, that we read something and then
it's a loss of innocence.
Yeah, and to your point, like we're not okay. We are haters, but like from a media perspective, yeah, we like a ton of stuff.
I got low. Like I said, I want to like stuff. I want to.
Yes.
I am not like, I don't look at things through like a super critical lens all the time. Like,
no, I just watched Happy Gilmore 2 and thought it was hilarious. Loved it.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, hey, all good, right? Like, yeah, it's objectively dumb, but like that's kind of the point, right? So
it was a loss of innocence, and maybe that's why we are the way we are.
But I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to a therapist to figure out like, why is it that this sticks in my head so much compared to literally anything else?
We've already talked about this. We don't need therapy when we have Harry Potter.
We have each other.
Yes. Now we have.
I don't know. I could talk about Star Wars too for that.
I'll have Cassie.
And I love Star Wars.
I feel like already just through 3 episodes, I could have Cassie clip together 5 minutes of Star Wars takes. So,
right. Well, I've used my sister as a sounding board too about the whole thing for that. But I don't know. I hope people understand that like we don't want to just sit here and tell people like you're an idiot for liking the movies. I don't think that. I'm jealous. I think you should enjoy them if you like them. Do your thing. Live and let live. But this is what we think.
To wrap this up, my Mount Rushmore is The Final Battle, The Celebration, the sacking of Trelawney and the assassination of Dumbledore, um, the lightning struck tower and how none of it makes sense, and the assassination of Snape and Harry, and Lumos Maxima. Are you allowed to do magic outside of school or not?
Yeah, mine was, did you put your name in the goblet?
Classic.
Voldemort hugging Harry.
So good.
Let's see. And then I had the opening entrance of Beaubaton and Durmstrang, like that entrance, which is just high comedy. Also, it just jumped in my head, like Amos Diggory, like, my boy.
Also a popular internet one.
Yeah. I think they're just copying like There Will Be Blood or something in that. Like, anyway, and then the last one I had, well, it was not, I'm doing this out of order. Voldemort's hug, Name of the Goblet, opening entrance, and then it was Hagrid. The way they handled Hagrid telling Harry he's a wizard.
Original sin.
The original sin of like, you're a wizard, Harry, and they just like immediately jumped to that and didn't like build it up at all. So, yeah, that is the Mount Rushmore of things I don't understand or can't appreciate about the movies.
Tell us what we missed in the comments. Write to us.
Yeah, tell us why we're completely wrong and we're haters and terrible people who don't understand the movies.
Exactly.
Be happy to know.
Same. Haven't been convinced yet. All right. Well, we're at an hour 56. I think we can keep this under 2. I think I don't know what we could cut from this. It was basically all gold. So
100%.
Especially right there when your microphone just wobbled so loudly. So thanks everybody for listening. We love you, Half-Bloods. And
heck yeah, we do.
We'll see you next time.
Love y'all. Bye.